Alright, kind of a response video to, well, inspired by a commenter. A commenter I blocked, just because I'm sick of his little rude comments. Cerebrist or something, I don't know. Has something cerebral in the name, but he's not very smart, obviously. Not smart enough to play me the right way, anyway. So anyway, fuck the guy. Sick of his bullshit. So he made some kind of comment. I didn't even read the whole comment, just the first sentence or so. Well, the reason why most people don't understand, blah, 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 blah. And, that's posted on a video where most people do understand. It's only you assholes who don't. So he insists that, apparently, we go over this addiction thing again and trying to explain the difference between suffering on the one hand and desire or satisfaction on the other. Now, first you could argue you have to separate suffering and, or displeasure from those little moments of satisfaction. I mean, true satisfaction. So take away the motivation of just desire and take away, the enjoyment of the chase, let's call it, and or the compelling nature of the chase, and just measure the raw sensation of, I'm satisfied. Like, this is a pleasant morning. I'm rather comfortable. I'm having a comfortable moment. We could call this satisfaction. Alright, so I'm having a satisfying moment. Now, if I contrast that to, let's say, when I had Lyme disease, and, I got a 104-degree temperature, chills, I feel like absolute shit. Now, how much is this worth compared to that? Would I endure that again to have this? No chance. Okay. But so the point I'm making is the raw moments of satisfaction we gain are very brief, in most cases, not lasting, and most of them aren't. Let's see, how's the best way to qualify this statement? They're either too much or too little. I mean, this is nice, but it's not ecstasy. And ecstasy, orgasm, is nice, but it's almost too much. It's like, it's too brief, and it's so much that it leaves you kind of, oh, shit, when you're done. Because it's like, whoa, the fun's over. Now it's back to the real world again. But anyway, that's a whole different issue. Look, these are not exact opposites. Pain and pleasure, as much as people like to categorize them, just like they categorize economics, it's either complete idiotic capitalism or complete idiotic socialism. These are not it's not an appropriate way to look at the equation. And pain and pleasure are not opposites. They're different things. And we're run by different compulsions and reversions, and so anyway, let's go through the list again. So you got satisfaction, comfort, joy, whatever you want to call that. Then there's desire that gets you there. There's fear, and then there's suffering or pain, emotional distress, psychological dissatisfaction, discomfort, those kind of states. So, but they're not reciprocals of each other. They're distinctly different things. Yes, fear compels us to behave as if certain realities were happening rather than they are happening. So they discourage us from doing things. But it's a much more rational force than desire, which is innately built out of almost nothing. It's like we're not desiring the satisfaction of the end. We are desiring moving in that direction. It's like if you have a hunger, what's moving you is not the perception of I will have joy. I will experience some satisfaction if I, obtain this thing I desire. You are just compelled, moved by the desire itself. It doesn't need the promise of satisfaction almost to get you to move in that direction. It's just an attractive force. And it works a little different than fear. So, anyway, the point I'm trying to get to is that, okay, there's this equation between pain and pleasure. And the accusation is made that I am somehow underestimating the value of the gain and emphasizing the negative value of the pain. And all I can do is argue why that assertion is incorrect and that I'm being fair to both. I certainly respect the fact that there is value to feeling good. My argument is that you put in a complete context, it's not enough value to justify the negative value of the bad. And that our psychology, because of this desire mechanism, because of this addiction mechanism, I guess that's the word I have to keep saying over and over again, but I think it's, until somebody demonstrates otherwise, is perfectly appropriate. Our psychology is made to be addictive, attracted excessively, out of proportion. So I've made the comparison to the heroin addict, who is obviously, by most people can see a heroin addict and say that person is not appreciating the incredible high price they're paying for this rather superficial, trivial, and moronic perception of need. Even though it's physically compelling, emotionally compelling, they're not in a balanced equation. They're not getting enough to justify the price being paid by people coming. So anyway, people aren't going to they don't like the analogy, but it's still, I think, fair, because I think most desire can be qualified as addiction. I mean, it's just using another word to emphasize that there are different mechanisms of levels, states of want, and that some of those want states, I think they all can be dissected and revealed to be trivial and stupid and just a matter of psychological bullshit. Like, for example, I've used the example of sports or some other crap like that, where the psychology gets completely hooked, where people need their fix. They have to see some ego crap going on in front of them. They have to root for the home team, have the competitive emotion. And it's just an addiction to an emotion, an addiction to a false value. The contest is stupid. There's no value in having it, in putting people in that position. There's so many ways to intellectually dissect the stupid adventure for what it is, stupid. So anyway, to the point. So again, this drawing up the equation isn't just simple. You can't do this without being really aware of psychology. And there's subtleties here, but I don't think anyone has provided an alternative argument explaining how the desire mechanism is a reasonable perception of value. It's either contrived by the conditioning we receive in our culture, or it's innately driven. We have the innate desire to do the consuming and reproducing thing because nature has found that a valuable compulsion to impose on us. That's its game. And then through our complex psychology, we're given the latitude to add extraneous nonsense on top of those basic crude desires, and it can be manifested in all kinds of I want to go fishing today, or I want to go to the ball game, or I want to go on eBay and buy myself a $1,500 Barbie doll. I mean, whatever the bullshit is that we think will make us happy, and like I said, I don't even think it's a perception of we think it'll make us happy. We are compelled to do it. And I don't think we ever calculate exactly what it is we will be gaining from doing it. We just do it because desire has manifested itself in us.